resourcefulness. So the dictionary definition, having the ability to find quick and clever ways to overcome difficulties. I always say, do what you can with what you have. It would have been easy to tell myself that I didn't have a good enough camera to take great pictures for a blog. It would have been easy to believe that my life isn't interesting enough to share on a blog or a YouTube channel. And it would have been easy for me to believe that I didn't have enough time to start a blog when I worked full time, when I was planning a wedding and starting a family. These are all lies that circled in my head in 2011 when I did start my blog. I don't think that it matters the path we decide to go down. There will always be difficulties. It's part of life. How we react to those difficulties is what showcases and develops our character. Becoming a mother has really sharpened my resourcefulness in many aspects. Luke was always a very good napper. If I put him to sleep, I knew that he was going to sleep for a certain amount of time. He went to bed early in the evening, and I knew how much time when he went down for a nap that I had to accomplish whatever was on my to-do list. And my to-do list changed and evolved from day to day, and top priority items would even change sometimes from hour to hour. If you're a mom, you know how this goes. If you have a running to-do list, it can always be changing. But knowing I only had 2 hours to complete what I could / take a nap, because I remember, just sidetrack for a second, I remember Tyler would be like on dad duty and I would be out doing a makeup application, freelance makeup artistry, and he would be like wanting to take a nap when Luke was napping. And I always told him, if you're gonna nap when Luke naps, like he normally does nap for 2 hours, but just in case, lay down as soon as he goes to sleep to make sure that you get a decent nap. So anyways, that's how I thought. So if nap was at the top of the priority list, as soon as Luke laid down, I didn't try to wash the dishes first. No, I went to sleep and I napped if that was my top priority, which napping was a huge priority when I first had Luke, because becoming a mother was a massive, massive transition for me. That's a whole other story. Okay, so it developed my abilities to prioritize and stay focused. In the middle of overcoming difficulties and utilizing our resourceful abilities, we often unleash these strengths we didn't even know that we possessed, which is so interesting to me. Being forced into something and figuring a way out is how I have personally grown. So you guys, some of you might know last summer I experienced my first encounter with online harassment. At first, the words and accusations took me to my knees. My world started spinning and I wondered what was true and what was false. Over the next few weeks, I moved into this weird space of quietness, solitude, confusion, anxiety, and I was mad because I couldn't talk about what I was going through because I hadn't sorted it out in my head and I didn't even know how to express myself. And someone had anonymously made me feel so small and meek. After so much time in prayer and searching for truth in the Bible, God guided me to fight back like Jesus with love that is reckless and knows no boundaries, love for even those who hurt me. And so a deep desire was now inside me to spread love in a really big, powerful way. So I emailed the Birds Papaya. I told her what had happened to me and that I wanted to shine light in the darkness with the help of her beautiful light, which we can all agree she has a beautiful light. And she's so positive and joyful and funny. She agreed to come to Sarnia to be the keynote speaker of HAL Socials, the first HAL Socials. My business and social media community poured out with enthusiasm to help make the event a success, and we sold out the event in one day. And today, I'm planning the next 2 events, October 2020 and winter 2021. And I'm working on making this an event series that is important and powerful in Southwestern Ontario. I think as entrepreneurs, we have natural resourceful abilities. I know myself, I don't plan every detail before I start acting and working. It's just who I am. And I think it's one of my gifts. Now, before I used to think like, oh, I'm so unorganized and I need to be more detailed. But you know what? I think it's one of my strengths that I can literally just jump into something with 2 feet and be like, I'm going to figure out a way to make this happen. And I know, so when I booked the Birds Papaya and signed the contract to hire her, I didn't even have the event space booked yet. I had nothing. I had a signed contract that the Birds Papaya was coming to Sarnia on a specific date. And together with many amazing women working alongside me, we figured it out, and it was a joyful experience. And through that overcoming of all the obstacles and difficulties that are part of planning an event and the unknowns, we all discovered this amazing energy that can happen at events like this. We learned that our community is super hungry for this kind of human connection. I have big dreams for Health Socials and everything I'm working on at Heather Audrey Lapierre Industries. And I can look at one of the hardest testing faith seasons I have walked through and be grateful that it happened to me. I'm actually grateful that that happened to me because it forced me to realize my abilities and some gifts that I didn't even know that I possessed. Resourcefulness is simply choosing to not give up, to keep moving forward no matter what, choosing to change directions if there is a roadblock, or changing vehicles. We maybe need to fly because the road disappears, but we keep going. I love you guys.